young side of things.
This shit wasn't them bad boys and shit. They
You know
wasn't.
Yeah, they fucking love that shit.
As a crew, he got a bro, I got a bro, he grew. On our way.
I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth,
Walking.
man. Only thing I would change about my fucking youth is I would have spent more time
I would not
going
suck
to
my
school
thumb.
and shit.
Word.
Yeah, I would have invested in education a little bit more. But I'm telling you the honest God truth, my mom didn't give a fuck if I went to school, if I didn't. She didn't give a fuck about a lot of shit. And that shit was years and years and years, you know what I'm saying, before I even met you.
Or your
You know what I'm
personal,
saying?
or you having your personal drive to make sure you get up and go to school and shit.
Or, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for
Now.
me, or, you know what I'm saying, y'all motherfuckers was going to school, like,
Right.
when we used to go pick up Gil and shit, and Gil's dad like, oh, he's asleep.
Right.
I'm like, God
And that
damn.
nigga, you know, and that nigga was like, you know, amongst the alumni, and you know, he students looked up to him like when he came from Marion Franklin and that basketball shit. That nigga was getting good grade and all that shit. And I used to call and be like,
But that shit is a lot, like it.
I basically had perfect attendance like in high school because in my brain, you know what I'm saying, even if you felt I wasn't the shit, I felt I was the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying, that was my stage and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, and plus I get to get the fuck away from me and Colleen, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and that was the thing, like, I don't give a fuck if you missed the bus and you gonna walk to school, you ain't gonna be in this motherfucker, you ain't sick and shit. So going to school every day was just the norm and shit. But in high school, it was like shit, just the freshest shit that I got, and I feel fresh, and I'm all kind of shit, and I'm a booster, and I still my own shit, and all that shit, right? I felt fresh.
did you used to call yourself a booster?
No, that word wasn't out.
I'm just hearing you saying the word was out.
Nigga, that was, he a thief. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just saying, when you
Man,
just say that, like, you know what I mean?
Lincoln Park was notorious for that shit.
Yeah.
We went out there a few times and picked up, you know what I'm saying? Got like a
Garbage bags.
go get what the fuck we need out there, Lincoln Park. But
A
and
man
the first
about
lesson
to-
was Scottsdale South right there. That's the
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
I stole a pair of hair clippers that my mom would. She just stopped doing my hair, doing anything to my hair. So my hair was just, it was matted down on the sides and back with lip balls and shit in it because you go to sleep. So that was all tall and shit. My hair was like down to here when she was just
describe
crazy
my
and shit.
grandson,
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was and shit. And then once I started to be like, you know what I'm saying? I remember it was you, James Bell. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm better than him. Why the bitches all on him and shit? I'm looking like, hold on, this nigga's coat matching shoes and shit. You know what I'm saying? God damn it and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at what I got. I'm like, nigga, you wear these shoes every goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? He says you got play schools, you got two shoes. These shoes.
that shit fucked up though.
Oh,
Process.
what year was this? What fucking year was this?
I was like in the 7th grade. I was like in the 7th grade when I started to notice this shit. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't the only coat he got. You gonna see me with this going on every day. Where's Paul's coat over there? Like, cause I had the same fucking coat and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember when I was really good at boosting this shit. And I thought I had shoes stacked up and shoved out with the shit until I went over to James Bell's house. And I'm like, this shit fucking retarded. This shit, these motherfuckers got shoes stacked up here and shit, like all the way around.
Did you call it boosting too?
We didn't call it. We didn't call it boosting and shit. We didn't have none at all.
That's what James Bell these days.
I just say
He
on
was probably like
Facebook.
a year or two younger than me. So he probably like 48.
Younger?
Yeah.
But he out here good.
Nah, I just seen him on.
He about to get out soon.
Facebook and
He about to get out soon.
Keep your head up, my brother, and make sure you get home.
Yeah. I got a lot of stories about you, James Bell. Shit. That's
Well, I'm gonna tell you about me and
That's
James
what
Bell.
makes
I don't
you
know if it was me and Playboy or me and Shot Getting.
He raised me.
Going to the
Everybody in the projects raised me.
to Applebee's on Main Street to get our hair. Well, not Applebee's, but the Applebee's on Main Street. We used to get our hair cut out.
On Main Street, that's
Felicia, when you Felicia
that
cut our
was
shit. The program, the hair program.
The hair program.
So I remember a whole bunch of times.
The hair program.
Yo,
Used to go down.
You're old.
But I remember me and James
The hair
Bell used to
program
see
used
each
to
other
be
all the
shit.
time, and the same shit like you said from society. The nigga looking hard, and he's like, nigga, what you think? You know, we looking at each other like, and I'm looking at, and I'm a young pit bull, right? So I'm thinking like, and he looking at me like, I already know who he is anyway. You know what I'm saying? I already, you know, niggas shit's proceeding. But I'm like, I'm the new and improved. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm
That's
like,
how them young niggas looking at us today.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know,
And I'm standing like, yeah, and he looked at me. And outside the hair program, we was passing each other. I don't know if it was Playboy with me or was it you?
It was probably
It might have been
I was
you.
in the hair program like every
But we was
5
like,
days.
right. And I was like, nigga, what the fuck you looking at? Or he said it to me, one or the other. You know what I mean?
Everything was about money.
But it wasn't about. But it was like, nah. It was like, what you looking at? Fuck, nigga, you keep looking. I keep seeing you looking at me. It wasn't like.
No real.
It was like it wasn't nothing.
It's just a feel you.
It was a multiple.
Because keep in mind, this was still the era that we created of the jack.
Exactly.
So you be looking. So I gotta look. I gotta have my eyes.
Well, he wasn't gonna jack.
I gotta look like I'm not a mark. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I definitely it wasn't that. No.
Motherfuckers out there.
Yeah,
but you regardless if you.
It was the op. It was the op shit because
you had to keep an eye.
Yeah, because I'm crispy. Always on some crispy shit, just like him. That was a respectable thing. I think. Where y'all being from Lincoln Park and Lincoln Park is, we don't know who each other is from what at the time. I'm sure he knew God. He know the niggas I'm hanging with, but who am I hanging with these niggas? Like, and it was like, and when we would see each other, it was like at multiple spots before we actually had like words. You know what I'm saying? It was like at a gas station or something at a store or some shit like that.
You see him seeing you.
Yeah, shit like that. Yeah, it was like that. And then, word was like, nigga, who's you looking at? Nigga, you looking at me. Well, man, we sitting there telling each other, nigga, you looking at me. Nigga, you looking at me. Then it was like, we went on, well, then, fuck it then. You know what I mean? Went our separate ways.
I'm gonna look this way.
And whenever time, ever since then, we was cool as fuck. Ever since then, we was cool as fuck. Me and nigga, I respect the nigga like he a real nigga. And we always show love. He always had a fresh ass old school and shit like that. Like,
I wish that shit wasn't like that. I wish that
you had to turn into that though.
Yeah.
You know that's what I'm saying.
Well, we should have been like, oh, nigga, what's up? We should have been.
How you doing?
All the highs and buys I say to people right now walking past me, hey, and motherfuckers be walking by me and don't be speaking back and shit. Hey, how you doing? Hey,
I was telling somebody at the shop today right here, I'm like, you know, there's a phrase we came up with because we lived in a dangerous society like today is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't gonna pull, when you pull that shit, you better be prepared to use it. Why did a motherfucker come up with that? Because you or somebody you know pulled their shit and they wasn't prepared to use it. This is a threat. This is a pow. That nigga for real though. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did that come from? Nigga, there's hitters that was hitters and just the stars of everything and shit, and all of a sudden crack destroyed that, and now they crackheads and shit. You think that the hitters stopped hitting? Right. You know what I'm saying? There were dangerous crackheads out there, not all of them. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You done pulled your shit out and they still beat you up, smacked the shit out of you and shit, took your gun
many
from you
times.
and shit. You know what I'm saying? You like,
what
happened to you 22? Because you're only 14 or 15 and shit. You know, he took that too. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it was like, nigga, you don't never pull your shit out unless you prepared to fucking use it and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I live till this day. I live firmly by that thought process.
Yeah, me too.
Ain't no flashing, ain't no showing, ain't no hoping the motherfucker run away. When you see me, dog, it's pop.
Right. I don't want to create no shit that's
as far as our era,
not understood.
We went from kickball to fuck y'all. So when you started to see the guns, you know what I'm saying? It was scattered. It wasn't every fucking where and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, well, I gotta get one of them too. You know what I'm saying? Either that or you in a situation where you shit. I should have got one when I was supposed to have got one.
That shit came hand in hand with crack though.
You know what I'm saying? So when you had it, you hit it and all that. And if you was to pull it out, you was hoping to God you did not have to. You probably we had a lot of shooting up in the airs and shit. You don't shoot up in the fucking air and shit because you don't want the problem. Now today it's like. Because of what we was doing, because you had some motherfucking shooters out there. You shot.
Because a lot of niggas got caught for being shooters, and they ain't do shit but shoot up in the air at a party or something like that. Like,
yeah, but then they pulled the
gun out. He was shooting. Yeah. They ain't say he was shooting in the air or wait, you know, not there. Just like the nigga on Boys in the Hill, he goes, pulled out the Uzi and shot up. They like, hey, punk ass.
We took baby steps to what we got here right now, but we created it though.
But when I got my first strap, it was. How Giddy said, it kind of came hand in hand with hustling. And I didn't want to show niggas I had a gun, ever. Like, you know, amongst my team knew it because everybody had one, all of us. You know, and when it was only one, didn't nobody know I had a strap because it was only, you know, me and the little strap. But then, you know, but I didn't think that made me hard. I really never tried to be in no shit like, I got the gun on me. We tripping tonight, nigga.
It was something that you hoped that you did not ever have to use.
Right.
It was just a tool, Where the fuck, just like today. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I live by this shit to this day. And a lot of this value system that I carry really don't hold much value in today's society. That goes back to Netflix and chilling and, you know what I'm saying? And don't pull this shit unless you know what I'm saying, ready for what coming.
I didn't get one until I got shot. I thought I didn't need one until I got shot. You know?
So when you're how old was when you got shot?
I was probably like 20. Jalen, my son, he was 3 years old and he was in the back seat and I completely forgot he was a fuck in the back seat and shit. Completely at all. You know, or I wouldn't even have made the moves that I made. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's when I found out when I was like maybe 24. I think that's when Jalen was here. That's when I was like, oh, it's a difference between being grown just because you're 18 and being grown. Because I felt like a deadbeat dad because I was driving out to Southfield with it. You know what I'm saying? I know who did what I did. You know what I'm saying? What you did. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, I'm going to your grandma's house and I'm going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. And Monty Young was with me and he was like, you know what I'm saying? Paul, you know, he just got out the halfway house and he was kind of like nervous. You just got out the halfway house. You know what I'm saying? So you're nervous. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even know what was going on. You dapping these people up because we went to high school together. You don't know what was going on when you was in the halfway house the whole time.
Right.
You know
let me stop you right there. So keep that thought process in mind when we tell you about some stuff or some people. You know what I'm saying? You weren't necessarily around, but when we say X, Y, and Z, without going into details about the shit, there's something behind that. But go.
I'm completely lost with what you just
Nah,
said.
just listen to what I'm saying.
Remember, you want to be direct. You know, Netflix, don't say Netflix. You know, say, come over, bro.
No, what I'm saying is, you saying like Monty just got out. You know what I'm saying? He really, you don't know what's been going on while he was gone.
That's what I'm saying. That's
yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. While you was gone, some shit was going on over here. So when you said, Monty, I'm about to go kill this motherfucker, or we going over here for X, Y, and Z, we tell you the same thing. We ain't going over here because of X, Y, and Z. Or if we go over here, it's going to be X, Y, and Z.
That's
just a side note.
But he had to cuss me out. You know what I'm saying? He used the word bitch. I don't remember that.
But that's some real shit.
When I was the first person, when I was the first person that I think I've ever been called the word bitch to a motherfucker, because I'm thinking like, you know, because you just got out, nigga, you scared. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Going, I can do this right here without me. Shut up, the fuck up, bitch. Your son in the back seat. That right there sucked every goddamn thing. I thought I was the most deadbeat dad ever on the fucking planet and shit. And I was like, nigga, you still a kid. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta check yourself. You know what I'm saying? I got this hand sitting there out leaking all out the window and shit. You know what I'm saying? I got an all cream and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we just went to the nearest hospital and shit. And it was like, can't take my son. You know what I'm saying? To my sister's house. You know what I'm saying? But that's what made me grow up. Like you gotta grow up. Like you's a selfish motherfucker. Cause you pulled it into that Clark's gas station because you seen something you didn't like it was just you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you got this man's life just got out the halfway house, and then you got your son in the back seat in the car seat, and he 3. You know what I'm saying? Grow the fuck up, nigga.
My kids and shit like that. It's a lot of.
And I wasn't even a thug.
It's a lot of situations I can think of, like when some shit like that, and where it, you know, you gotta turn it off.
Me too.
You gotta fucking turn it off. And then because it's either all or nothing when it goes, but then at the same time, the sacrifice you'll have to make. And I used to, you know, I always I thank God that I had a kid early. Man. I think because the type, you know, you know, it's just when you're a certain type of person.
I was gonna say that same shit.
You can be you gotta live with that shit up here.
Yeah. It puts a responsibility on you.
And it puts something on me to where it's like I can't go be hanging with these niggas all day.
It's above who you used to be.
Yeah, right. Wait, but even though I was still trying to be a good kid as a kid, but I think like, you know, with like how shit was building, like we say how things are now, it was been a process. And I don't know if it's like a, you know, because even in those movements, it has to be a predecessor or an heir or somebody to go to the next, who's the next motherfucker to carry it. Is this shit written or whatever? Because like how you see things progress. So then it was karate movies and, but everybody, it was always a criminal. It was always a bad guy. It was always somebody like that. And I used to love the bad guys too. I used to root for that shit. But I like the superheroes and the good guys too. Depending on the movie, depending on the show. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that taught us how to be. Like I said, the Duke boys used to fucking fight every week. The motherfuckers were supposed to be good boys. But Uncle Jesse was running, they was running moonshine.
Yeah,
the motherfuckers was running from the wall, fighting police, tricking the police. And you like, oh, this brother, ah! But then Boss Hogg, nigga, I see Boss Hogg.
Doing the same
I
shit.
used to love Boss Hogg. Nigga, he got a
Bad
caddy,
guy.
some money, a bitch. He tried back at another bitch.
And
He got
flunky that
a
do
flunky
everything
to
for
do
you.
shit. Nigga, I wanted to be Boss Hogg, but kick it like the Duke boys.
Man, I was so fucking mad that my mom didn't tell me that the Dukes of Hazzard was some lightweight racist shit.
She didn't know back then.
Why you? Nah, she knew, but I
My
don't
mom
know,
didn't know.
if she just didn't think to.
You really think she watched it with you? You had to know so you can shut the fuck up.
You can't tell me she ain't sit me down.
Boy, watch the Duke boys while I go do this right here.
My mom would just be in there cooking or something
That was
while we
your
watching that
Nintendo.
shit. And then we eat dinner and go to bed after that shit. And them niggas
Yeah,
was
she can watch that.
So-
She can fuck about that flag.
I think about what you were saying and how my first daughter, like changed every fucking thing.
I'm
You're
watching
right.
it.
It
I'm
make
a witness.
it make you fucking have to. Only thing I remember.
He stopped smoking weed.
This is
because his daughter.
This is what I remember holding her for the first fucking time, and like, dang, what the fuck am I about to do? Like, she can't live the life I done lived up to this point. Even though we still got into some shit,
Yeah.
and that shit, you know what I'm saying?
It was thought. Niggas had to be thinkers. We had to think about, and that it goes to shit like when they say like pick your battles and shit like that. Like because this can either go to hell or not, or you can try to create the shit to control the shit.
So that's my point exactly where I was leading to. So a T was born.
Hold on, you need hoping like hell, like that's not my baby. Please don't let that be my baby. And then she looks just like you.
Yo,
like
I-
exactly like this is me. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all have the same face, the same eyes, the same everything.
Yeah.
I remember when she
That
was
shit
doing
was
like
real. But the homie, my number one, you know what I'm saying? I love to this day. But T had been born, and now I'm trying to think and do better. Going back to boundaries a little bit though.
Word.
Which you know what I'm saying? Like I flip flop on this thought process over and over again because no disrespect, but he was kind of late bloomer. You know what I'm saying? Like we had already, you know what I'm saying? We was already turning up. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, he a real nigga. Mm-hmm. And until this day, man, I remember this dude's hands, and I remember him putting hands on motherfuckers. I respect this dude. I love this dude to death. But when it came time, he going through his shit, and I'm like, man, okay, it was my project folks. B, you know what I'm saying? I got this baby, but I'll tell you what, if I can go back, man, I would have rolled for this dude. Just so he can be right here doing this show for us, right with us right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I could have did some things differently, but you know what I'm saying? If everything happened like it's supposed to happen, I suppose. But I'm like, man, so when you was saying everything you was saying, I'm just thinking like,
This
man.
nigga, I was so scared. Look, I was just telling this story. I was just telling the story like when Tiara's mom, you know, I knew she was pregnant like when we got out of school, but you know, nigga, you know, that's another story about shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like scared. I was scared. I was scared to tell my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not what motherfucker was supposed to be doing. You thinking in that life, that's what they, you know, tell us and they show us they supposed to be doing it. But I was just scared to tell her. So I remember we went to Cedar Point. My mom, my grandma, Rue with the East Side.
What's up, Rue?
What's up, Rue? And Derek's still there. Derek. And God rest my grandma. What's up, Mom?
Yeah.
And but I remember when I got back, you know, we got in the house and shit. Everybody relaxing. Grandma at the crib with Derek. No, matter of fact, the phone ain't ring. Mom checked it. She go in there and start some coffee water and shit. Go in there, push the button on the answer machine. Leo, where y'all at? Well, we live on Kelton.
Okay. Yeah.
Leo, where you at? Call me when you get back. Hey, Leo, yeah, you know, hello. Miss Jordan, or this is Mary's mom, and your son, my daughter's pregnant by your son. Me and Rue talking about this shit the whole time. I'm like, nigga, I gotta tell her this weekend, nigga. I gotta tell her, man. Guy don't even know. Playboy don't even know this shit, right? I'm telling her,
You writing it in your head, Mom.
this is right, you know what I mean?
Guess what? No. Boy, what the fuck did you do? Remember that girl?
That nappy head ass girl. I'm like, and I'm listening. I'm like, I am no. She ain't never even been over the crib yet or nothing. So I'm
Don't let me catch that hussy in the house no more.
Right,
That
she
girl.
ain't never been to the crib. There wasn't no girls allowed in my house.
That's right.
But she but I'm like, goddamn, I gotta tell. I've been telling that nigga for weeks about this shit. So that was on there, and my mom was like, she made her coffee. She didn't even say shit right away. She just made her coffee, and made whatever the fuck she said. And went upstairs and said, you better call your dad because I ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? What the fuck am I gonna do? God damn, I got a baby coming. Damn it. Like, but it was a load off too, though.
Yeah.
It was a load of bricks off a nigga's shoulder. And then and then it was like after
Was
that,
your sister in the house by this time?
my sister, her sister.
Your sister.
No, my sister lived with my dad now.
Oh, so if you had sisters that have been throw that in your face there, and I, you know, it's like mommy don't know about that baby you got.
Right.
I've been through it, cause thinking.
Guy wouldn't have did. Playboy wouldn't have did. He'd have
Ooh,
rolled all the way
tell
out
me.
with me on that one. He wouldn't have said shit if I told him.
Tell him mommy.
But then, but what I'm saying about that was how long that was. And I had friends doing shit that I wasn't into. And that's all the way back then that made me start thinking about that type shit. Like, I used to think, like, I ain't gonna be no statistic or not take care of my kid or something like that or some shit like that. Because after, it was summer break and all that shit, when the winter came, nigga got into that shit. And it's like, that was just strictly a curve in my enthusiasm. If I wanted to do some other shit, that killed all that shit.
Yeah. As it should, and everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful, even though, you know what I'm saying, I wish I would have switched it up.
We got push play.
You ain't push play?
We fucking with you.
I'm about to say, boy, but yeah. But nigga, even past that though,
Okay, real quick.
TDJ, we was talking about TDJs, and I want to know how y'all thought about when he said about we're raising our women to be men.
This is a touchy subject, but what I'm gonna say is, it's nothing new though, and it was taken out of our hands a long time ago when the family could be broken down and sold away from one another, and the woman had to play a dominant role from them. You know what I'm saying?
I like that
Whether
already.
it be, you know what I'm saying, hold your man down, or your son, trying to hurry up and teach your son or your daughter, or, you know what I'm saying, just knowing that they can be gone at the whim.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, the motherfucker in charge might be fine. You know what I'm saying, the mother. So these are all trends and thought process that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. So for him to say that it's taboo right now under the current thought process as far as you can be whoever you want to be, and feminism and so on and so forth, all these things that work against that thought process. What he's saying, at the same time, in our communities, it's being passed down over and over again for the woman to be the strongest and the woman to, you know what I'm saying, not crack, and the woman have to hold her own, even though it ain't necessarily, it ain't necessary right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? They can step down away from that. But if that shit been put into them from,
I don't feel like it's like generations to do with like the slavery part right there. You know what I'm saying? It's about women's lib. You know what I'm saying? Even during slavery, if you're my wife, you're my property. Even though I belong to somebody else, I'm still, you know, I'm still superior to you because you're a female. You know what I'm saying? But women's lib, when I hear him say that about men, that's what you're supposed to be. I cannot stand a strong black woman. I can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? Because
are you saying that personally, or are you saying
no?
Like,
I'm saying this right here. This is what I don't like about the women that come out. I'm an independent black motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You're complaining about doing stuff you're supposed to do because you're an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, men don't do that. I'm an independent black. No, we just pay our bills and do the shit that we supposed to do. But if a woman is doing it, she's doing it by herself. You know, I know it's like, you was a single parent at one point. I was a single parent. You know what I'm saying? We don't rub it in our kids' face and say, you're no good, mama ain't you. That's what women do. You always got to cry and complain about the shit with men. We are equal. Women's lived at this. When people sit there and say, you know, when you gotta ask a woman's hand in marriage, you go to the father out of respect. No, what respect, it was actual permission. You know what I'm saying? So this is what women's lib did. This is what women's lib, how if you like that old school shit, you know what I'm saying, and you complain about how women are and shit, you can blame this on women's lib. Because women, before women was able to liberate themselves, you lived in your father's home with your mom until you got married. I don't care if you're 35 years old. If you ain't married yet, you know what I'm saying? That's why the man will be like, I would like your woman's hand in marriage and shit. He's like, ain't you Danielle's and them son? You was whooping that other bitch's ass, nigga, you will never marry my daughter. Hey, ain't you the dude that had 3 jobs this month? And you got fired, you will never happen. You gotta be able to take care of my daughter as strong as I can or better. So it wasn't no out of respect and shit, you know what I'm saying? This is my daughter, she gonna die in this house and I'll pay for her pass. You can't work. You can't leave when you're 18. You can't even vote. You know what I'm saying? So then when you become liberated, you're saying I am equal to you, man. So now I gotta pay bills all by myself. That's what we gotta do. You know, I'm not asking you to pick up some heavy shit by yourself. I know I'm stronger than you. You know what I'm saying? But don't complain because you got to take kids all by yourself. And then the welfare system was for men. You know what I'm saying? World War II, you know what I'm saying? We just drafted all of y'all. Y'all's businesses failed and all that. You can't even go to work or no shit like that. So when you came back from the war, it was welfare. Women can't apply for welfare at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't work. You know what I'm saying? Welfare was for people who couldn't find jobs and shit. So men applied for it and they did it different. They pulled up somewhere and you had to wait in line and show a card and they gave you food on a truck. It was humiliating. So men wanted to get on their feet immediately as possible and shit. Now that you got women's lib, now women can apply for welfare. You know what I'm saying? Welfare was so slick and it wasn't like it is now with food stamp cards. We gotta go to your house. You don't come to us like it is today. We come to you. You know, whose big ass shoes is sitting there? You know, you had welfare scams all the way back then. You know what I'm saying? So if you're claiming that, I don't care if you and a man is there, put his name on at least 2. You know what I'm saying? Y'all's rent will be a little bit higher and shit, but a scam is, we're gonna be telling like you don't exist. You know what I'm saying? And you'll pay child support or whatever. You don't exist and shit. So now if you're a woman and it's all this women's live shit, you know what I'm saying? If you're an independent black woman, do that shit independently and shut the fuck up bragging about your bills and all that shit.
But the chicks, so like even like right now, it's like with females, because of that, in today's time, I see a lot of females, they work their jobs and do the exact same thing gotta do living there and saying he's not living there and vice versa. Well, not vice versa, but just saying that he don't live there to keep their benefits or whatever. But it's like, it's to the 10th power right now on females shitting on dudes, because when I heard like TD Jakes say that,
a lot of niggas ain't playing their part.
They're not playing their parts, but also if a woman breaking you down, how it's not that easy to if you know what I mean, to really come. Maybe for us because we built from different cloths, but a lot of dudes, and they take that shit too. If a chick breaking them down and you know, the new things like, fuck, you a bum, niggas is bums, and they calling them bums, and Like taking all the manhood out of what little bit they got left.
Because some of them don't even recognize the only reason why that nigga is there to begin with because he needed a place to stay.
So
That's it. And until he finds somebody that's better than you with some better shit, and they'll say, yeah, he's gonna oblige by your rules, by he do nothing, but
even that thought process is foul. So, but I want to address real quick what you saying, like my perspective about slavery has nothing to do with this. All these things are hand in hand, and they are connecting the dots. It started here, it went here, all the way to where what you saying. But with the only thing, the common thread in all of this is women in position to raise their no matter what generation it is, it's been a woman in position to raise their child, female or male, in a certain way. So now, you know what I'm saying? You talking about
that's
women.
way past slavery then because
But that's what I'm saying. But it's starting here. And another thing is, as far as wait a minute, Paul, just real quick. As far as the vision, especially when it comes to feminism and this whole thought process, that was not me and you against our woman. That was the power structure. We were never in power to make these calls. You understand? What we did is we tried to buy into this shit. Right. Whatever we can do to get, you know what I'm saying, to get some sort of footing in this environment that we're in. We bought into it. We should have never bought into it. But it's been set up from here to here.
Because you couldn't help to be bought into it even before anything, it was the man right there. I go hunt. Imagine how embarrassing it would be, you know, saying in the days of before you had rules in society.
We can't say that's pretty historic.
Like out of everybody's society, your woman went to go hunt while you took care of the kids.
That's pretty historic. We don't know if that's really the case.
Society,
if everybody played the
woman was always weak.
Position.
Even in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? There is no dominant. They're not even did Mary Magdalene. We would rather turn you into a prostitute in the Bible than to say you was part of the apostles. You know what I'm saying? We got to tear you down. You can't be great. It's always been
the also the system.
Even in slavery, you didn't talk back to your man. Nobody talked back to their man. I gotta beat the fuck out you.
You talk back to your fucking man.
This was your property back then.
And that who was the man?
But that's the point I was saying.
No, I'm talking about like white women, you know, predominantly did not talk back to their man. You know, I'm the superior.
So that's what I'm saying. We bought into that
shit. Talk back
to
the
man. We bought
man.
into that shit because this man right here, he's not just telling his
even in Africa, women have no rights in Africa. Even to this day, they don't have no rights. They second-class citizens.
That's not
in a lot of places.
That's not the
case. The Muslim, all the African wives and the Muslim wives, stuff like that, they gotta submit.
Even in India, you know, you submit. Asia, you submit. You doing all this shit to the man and all that shit. It's
even all the way into the back bushes where they got still.
Because it was over the strength of the man. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me what you do, bitch? You can't even beat me. You know what I'm saying? This is way back before society.
I think it's more to the fact that we all. I'm talking about back before slavery. We all have a position to play. But when you talk about prehistoric and a man is a hunter and
even Joan of Arc, you know what I'm saying? I didn't pretend to be a man because if I told you I was a woman, y'all gonna hang me off the
But what you talking about is
you can't be a woman is strong.
What you talking about is a white power structure.
No, that's Asia. That's what Mulan is. Mulan and Joan of Arc. That's the same story. It's the same.
It's the same story, but I'm talking about
weak in society's eyes.
No.
Even way back then.
But so now with a woman, like, it really blossomed in the 80s when a lot of women got a lot, you know, it started being more independent. Men been leaving their families for years and different things
also,
like that.
If you ask me, stems back to the slavery part of it. If a man could be sold off from his family, it was important for us not to hold on to these. You know what I'm saying? Hold on to the thought of me and you living our lives forever at any given point. So if it's already fractured in these areas, and we can go back prehistoric, it's always been important for a man to have a woman.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But when you, like you say, when you come into the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where the feminist movement took off, you know what I'm saying, then these things continue. It was
Right.
already
That's where I'm at.
It's already
That's where I'm at,
shattered.
where
and
women
it's
start
hard.
being able, you know, because women through a whole long time, women weren't allowed to eat. I mean, vote, fucking work, all that. And
That's
once
the
they
white
got
power
there,
struggle.
I can
Right.
never understand why like it would be the slavery because of that. Because when you say that, you know what I automatically think of how many Hispanic children are growing up and they never knew who their dad was. You know what I'm saying? So why are the Hispanic dads disappearing? Why? How many white people you be like, I don't know who my dad is either. Like that's really a poor person thing. I wouldn't even say a poor. That's an individual.
I would
thing
take that as
to
like
leave your kids.
I would say like a
you
poor
blame it on
person
slavery, it makes it feel like only black, because of slavery, only black people abandon their children, where all races abandon their children.
And all races have been slaves.
And but what you gotta think, in order for us to be the best that we can be, Hispanic, black,
Like that's a
Asian,
coward thing to do.
in order for us to be the best that we can be, it requires
It's a selfish thing.
it requires a
Because we all could have
man,
ran. We
a
all could have
woman.
ran.
You know what I'm saying?
And why you ain't run? Why we ain't run?
Because I know
We
what
were
it
from
feel
slavery,
like.
but we were from
Listen,
slavery.
no, because I know what it feels like. Because I got the choice and the
Everybody
thought
knows what it
process.
feels like.
Not everybody.
Hey, everybody, people, if you grew up without a father around, you know what it's like to feel without a father around. My thing is, I would never do that to somebody because it's been happening to me. I will never not be there for my
That's
child.
my
but
point
I know
exactly.
how it feels.
That's
and I can't
my
look
point
at it.
exactly.
Yeah.
The reason
Everybody
I
got stress.
stuck into this situation, and this situation is because I know how the negative impact it had on my life. I feel like I can be further along. I feel like a lot of situations I found myself in, I probably wouldn't find myself in if I had a strong father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that my mom was raised to be a certain type of woman,
But guess what?
which
right
is
there? That could be a plus.
who we don't give a fuck.
Like
you
if
know
my
what I'm
father
saying?
was around, you know what I'm saying? I was like, God damn it, shit, maybe you was supposed to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you was in my life? You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, it'd be better if you wasn't.
But
Like, you're a toxic
so
person.
at what point do
Woman beater.
do you
I would probably
say-
be a woman beater right now if he stayed in our life.
I'm
And probably
saying-
alcoholic.
at what point do you say that
That's in
the
the
decision to couple in a dysfunction? Where does dysfunction start at? It starts somewhere. You can't be
Like people as
functional.
individuals.
You can't be functional and expected to have. You can't be dysfunctional and expecting to have a functional outcome to none of this shit.
But you can't control somebody else's dysfunction that don't show up until later in life. Like, whoa, this wasn't you before. You know what I'm saying? So how do you deal with that? Do you run away and then you just left your family? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are single parent moms or whatever and shit. It's just, what the fuck is you?
But it's a bunch of single
I wish.
moms that got that shit together too. That ain't tripping on none of that shit.
Like you done chased the dad away and shit, all these rules
And
and
it's a
shit.
million of them.
You got a whole nigga and that's your boyfriend, but your kid can't see the
Well-
dad because he got a girlfriend. I don't want that baby around that bitch. And how you gonna come up with shit? You chase the nigga away. That's why you're a single parent mom. That's why that kid grows up without a dad. We can't just sit there and say niggas just run. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some manipulative creatures when y'all do that. Y'all have the baby, you got the power, you got the rights and all that right there. You can come and leave when the fuck I say so. Birthday comes,
But-
not with your family, with my family. He ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Do
the
shit.
power structure that you're bucking against at that point, because the power structure give women the power to
But
say
they know that
and
just
do
to
certain
hurt.
little
They-
things.
that's
You-
a
you're
weapon.
right. You're right. And, but who's weaponized? Who's giving them the weapon? That's like, you know what I'm saying? A motherfucker start a war and then they ain't fighting the war, but they gonna train you and give you all these ammunition.
So they've been
and
giving
everything.
us the shit from
Yeah.
the beginning of time. It
That's
kind
what I'm
of go
saying.
back to what we were saying. Like it's a building. Like even for women's, when it got to that point, it was a design for that. They let it. Well, let's go ahead and let's let the I'm gonna say it like they said. Well, let the bitches have a little bit of something. That's what they said, and they let them go on, vote, let them go on and have a job or something, and then women take it and interpret it into their own ways, and
Because of
they're
the oppression that they felt
beforehand
Yeah.
and after, because it was women that were taking care of kids, having to be that before they could have jobs and all that shit too. What about those? You know what I mean? So I think to my conclusion of what I think about is I just think he was saying that today's woman is being bred like that, you know what I'm saying? And we are losing our families because today's women are more masculine and independent as ever, and there's no need for the man. You know what I'm saying? They're making sure they don't need a man. They might fuck a man, but ain't no man. That the kids might be somebody else's. So as a
Ain't that what we as men feel? That makes it
yeah. So, but I'm just saying, as far as the woman goes, that's
I'm with
like
you.
to be strong and take care of my player, and I don't need the other one. That makes you manly to do what you're supposed. Because as a man, that's what I'm going to do anyway. So if you do what I do, that makes you manly. You know what I'm saying? Your bills gotta be paid anyway. So you know, what I'm saying? And you weak bitches out there, so and he gotta help me pay these bills. If you can't help me pay a bill and shit, you don't need to be around. Bitch, you supposed to pay your bills on your fucking own. I'm here to have you. You're my company and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because we hook up don't mean I'm responsible for your fucking bills.
He's speaking on the family. The family.
Yeah. So
we losing family.
this is my perception of what he's saying. I didn't even really listen to the shit and none of that, but I just feel like what he's really addressing is everyone having a place, a position to play. Whether you're dominant or recessive, whether you know what I'm saying, right or left, everyone has a position to play. And if you are not raising your offspring to play a certain position, or if you raise them to be all this over here and say that you don't need this over here, you're doing a disservice to our community and to your family as a whole. These are things that, again, have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. At some point, we gotta say no. You know what I'm saying? This is what the family unit is more important than anything you can say or do in your life. You understand? You gotta have this bond between man and woman. Or ain't gonna be no more kids. You can be whoever you are, whatever you are. You can't be that without a man and a woman. So if everybody played their proper position, which is what I did the first time around, I could have did it better. I learned where I could have been stronger. Now I'm applying that to my current situation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, okay, that's it. That's my conclusion. We all need each other. A man need a woman need a man. These babies need us too.
That's a big investment that people put in, and they put that investment in, and they get stepped on and stepped on and stepped on and stepped on to the point it was like, I don't trust you motherfuckers. I'm gonna do this on my fucking own. If I fuck with you, it's just cause something I need, maybe some dick or whatever and shit. But I'm not gonna put my trust into you because I've done that 15,000 times. My kids are getting older and bigger and shit. You motherfuckers want my tax return and say you're gonna flip it and give me $5,000. Next thing you know, you got robbed. They served you some woo or some shit like that. No, you know I don't do that.
9 times out of 10, if the woman plays that position,
and that's the same thing we as men do to women. Y'all do so much shit to us. It's like, I don't trust you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may fuck with you here or there or like that, but I can't give you my heart and shit. And that's why I only had 3 girlfriends ever, because I don't, you know, everybody got hidden agendas some fucking where. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why women or men, we are equal. Period, point blank, in my eyes, we are equal.
Okay.
Unless we pick up some heavy furniture or some shit like that, or you get jumped by some
they equaled in too. Like,
no, it ain't that. I'm not about to do that. I'm gonna take the bulk of the furniture. You can sit on that furniture, baby, while I move this on the 3rd floor. But I gotta taste some greens. I want something different. I mean, some chicken from Marfamily's Kitchen, and they know ingredients, this and this. And I want a brisket. I like my cornbread this, thick. Pick up the phone, come get this. They got the biggest sandwiches. Ha. Thank you, Jesus. Is that macaroni and cheese? Yup. Is that macaroni and cheese? Yup. Is that macaroni and cheese?
Yeah. Also,
our other sponsor.
Yeah, our other sponsor.
Our Family's Kitchen phone number.
Oh, I'm sorry.
342-1942. No, go ahead, bro.
614-556-21. Shit. I'm
alright. The party over. Okay, so rewind that shit. Y'all can peep it in part 2.
One there.
Okay, so also We got to shout out our sponsor, Drake Imperial Crates and
Creme
Lord. Yeah.
Drake Imperial Crates.
Drake
Imperial grapes.
We've been over here partying, God, while you over here sleeping.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
been doing our thing over here. So, Drake Imperial Grapes. Life should be relaxing, but it's not. As Paul cleans up, sometimes you have to create your own enjoyment with many different cream violet flavors such as blackberry plum, strawberry rose, peach, or pomegranate mango. Relax. Kick your feet up. Invite over some friends and enjoy the taste. Creme Violet, Drake Imperial Grapes. It's creme velour, my lord.
Creme velour, my lord. Yo, this has been the Broadway Show.
I'm sorry, I did that. Broadway show.
Yeah, catch us next week when we come to you with the hot shit and the raw opinion. Call us and check us out. 614-588-5555. It's the Broadway Show.
Fuck you, boy.
Fucker.
Whoop!